Hello YouTube and welcome to my review of Frieren season 2 episode 6 episode 6. Sorry, I'm been recording like episode 7s, so I was kind of confused. Not episode 6. And Jesus Christ. I like okay, wait, before I start, of course, as always, you can watch the full reaction on Patreon right now for €5 a month, uncut, unedited, everything you want, like you know um, picture in picture, not have to sync your own version. And I had a lot to say during that reaction. Like I had in like I when I reached the uh 5 minutes, no, the 10 minutes mark, I noticed that I was at 30 minutes of recording, and I mean I guess I kind of yapped a bit at the beginning of the reaction. For some reason, I was really like into it in like more so than usual. I was very like I had much more energy than usual. I don't know why. So I kept yapping at the beginning. Mm, Not necessarily about the show itself. When I started the reaction, it started like I started to really talk about it. And it was such a great episode. Not only because of what we see in it, of course, like it's a brand new like it's really a way to show that we are in like we are definitely in a part of the show that is much darker than previously because of the place that we are in, since it's a really dangerous area. But seeing Geno and Method was already great. Seeing them again, I wasn't expecting to see these two particular specific characters again, especially together. But it was like I love that we keep going back to seeing these characters that we've met before, and seeing how they themselves continue to live, and then, like other characters keep evolving and stuff. But mostly, like what I had a lot to talk about during my reaction is how much we learn about Geno from so little we are given, because we're not given a lot about him at the start, like, and he's not saying much necessarily, like, but we do know one thing, like there's one thing we can learn pretty quickly about him, is that he when he acts cold, it's to prevent himself from feeling anything, but it's not necessarily because he's a bad person, or like because he's doesn't feel anything. Like he says, yep, I managed to stop right at the correct time. I still have the episode on my end. He says, I bear no attachment to this place, which is obviously a lie, considering what we see afterwards, because he still, like, he still remembers a lot about the village, about the life in the village, and the people who live there, what they did, what were their habits and stuff like that. Like he still knew a lot, and the fact, and you don't remember that much about a place if you don't bear any attachment to it. Like he and yeah, oh, and what I like most about his character is that he's clearly, despite the fact that he became a first class mage, uh, like when underwent all the trials and stuff and got his gift, which seems to be, I mean, that is my guess at least. seems to be the power to view the world through the eyes of birds, which is quite powerful. And also, hmm, might explain why he went with a bird for the first test. Like he might have been keeping an eye on the test takers, and also explains a lot about why he knew everything that was happening while staying literally on top of a hill during the test. Um, but like despite going through all of that, it's nice to see that's something that I immediately loved about him when I understood that he doesn't see himself as being necessarily above others. Like he might be first class mage who literally proctored a test, but he doesn't seem to see himself as superior to others, and especially not to people who don't choose to fight, people who just want to live a normal life. Oh, sorry, dropped something. Don't know if the mic picked that up. And that's something that I I actually love about his personality, like his character, rather. That um, he sees basically like the way he sees it is he has a sense of duty. Essentially, that's what I get from him. He has a sense of duty. It chose to become a first class mage so he could fight and basically go into battle in the place of people who cannot protect themselves, and he like feels very affected by the fact that people who didn't choose to fight die in battles, which like it says a lot about him. He might act cold, but there are layers to this man, and you learn so much of that with just like a few interactions and the way he speaks. Simply like the way he talks, like he gives so much details about the village itself, and he talks about his memories of it, tells you that he actually cares about it. Oh, sorry, I was messing with my mic. Tells you that he cares about the village, and like he still had attachment to it. Still had a lot of memories, and he probably wanted to be there for it. Um, and yeah, feels responsible for not being able to protect it. Which, as Method said like they weren't easy in the area, and by the time they got the message, it was probably too late, and he probably knew that it was too late. Like there was a good chance that they wouldn't make it in time. He still decided to come, and that's more than enough. Like even if the situation was desperate and it didn't seem like there was any chance that it would end well. Decided to come still and take care of the demons still in the area, which I guess the one that they killed were more like scavengers, you know, because they're not the ones who attacked the village in the first place. Um, but yeah, like we learned so much about him in just about Geno in just a few scenes in the first half of the episode. That's like all we needed to learn more about him. Um, Method seems to be opening up a bit more than she did during the first season test, where she was like a really reserved character, still like very helpful and talkative when needed, but she wasn't really necessarily engaging in conversation with others. and we didn't see much of her, like aside from during the second test when we actually saw her really into action, in action, where she actually starting to show like her specialty essentially, which was mana detection and that kind of and healing as well, which for a mage is not that common since usually it's priest who can who do that. So like she seems to be opening a bit more and still showing her like the fact that she likes cute things and cute people. But yeah, like she's that kind of character, isn't she? The honest and like I still remember the memes from the first season. Like if you've never seen memes about the first season of Frieren, there was one that was going around a lot, which was method cornering Sergei, like literally like blocking her into a corner and Seria using a small defensive spell to try and protect herself from her. Like it was funny. That's actually a meme that I saw before I watched the show, if I remember correctly. Like I had not watched the show at all at this point, and I had seen the meme before already because I watched the first season after it had stopped airing. I'm pretty sure, or maybe it was during what it was airing. I don't remember. Hmm. But anyway, yeah. So we learn a lot about Geno. We've seen a bit more of Method, and yeah, it seems like we've got a two-parter on our hands here, or maybe more than two. But like, I was not expecting it to actually become a story that will span a few episodes, like at least two episodes. But we are going there, and there's also the whole thing about um, burying the bodies far away from the villages, which makes a lot of sense. Like that's something that I got on when they were about to explain it. That uh, of course it would be a danger to bury bodies near the village because it would draw the attention of monsters and demons who feed on them. Um, and yeah, there's the whole conversation, but cremation, which I also like that Geno has a side in that, like he has decided to pick a side in that debate, but he still understands the other point of view. Like he sees the most practical solution. Like he agrees with the more practical solution, which makes sense considering the current state of the logistics in the northern plateau. But he also understands why people might be against it, and that's like which means he also is really open-minded. Once again, it's not a trait that from what we saw of him during the first test, it's like we didn't learn actually we didn't learn that much about him because we've discovered so much more about his character in just one episode right here. And yeah, like I'm really impressed that this show has kept doing that over and over again. The ability to make us learn so much about one character in just an episode or just a few scenes. Like, it's incredible because it it choreographs the, like, I mean, the pacing of the dialogues and the way people talk and stuff. There are a lot of hints to show us how people really are, and yeah, it's really well done. It's not something I've seen a lot of times. I'm seeing a lot of, like, I haven't seen that many shows do that kind of stuff. But anyway, I think that's what I had to say for this review. I only talked for 15 minutes. It feels like I've been talking for an hour. Weird. Might be because I talked on so much during the reaction. Um, but yeah, like, that's all I had to say about this specific episode. I can't wait to see the next episode. But at the time I'm recording this, it should be out in about 2 days and a few hours, give or take. So can't wait to see more of it, to see how it goes next time, because it's going to be something. Also, oh yeah, no, one last point. It feels like Geno might know the threat. Like, he might already know what they'll be up against next episode. So yeah, can't wait to see that. In the meantime, I'm gonna stop the review right here. Once again, you can see the full reaction right now on Patreon for €5 a month, uncut, unedited, uncensored, picture in picture. You don't have to sync with your own version. And yep, I will see you for episode 7 of season 2 of Frieren.